Hello, writing friends and friends. So happy to see you again. Today we are back to our discussion about academic careers, and we are going to talk about the key skill, competence that you need to have as a mid-career academic. Okay, so mid-career, what do I classify as mid-career? I would say 1 year before your tenure, if you're in the U.S. system, or just about when you're ready to submit your tenure package, when you're ready to apply for associate professor. Uh, Publication wise, it's basically when you have at least submitted everything from your thesis and you're beginning to work on new things. That's my classification as a mid-career academic. And the difference between an early career and a mid-career academic is that as a mid-career, um, you sort of nailed, you know, data. So you know how to get data, getting data, and doing the work of analysis and so on is no longer an issue. So that means that you can basically keep a pipeline of papers. So the problem for mid-career researchers, or the challenge, is less from writing new versions of papers than making sure that oops, I'm running out of battery. One sec. Super quick. Sorry about the weird noises. It's batteries going left and right. So your problem is running a revise and resubmission pipeline. That's what you're doing. So you're moving from what salespeople would call lead generation, so creating new papers and new articles, into running that pipeline. Because even if you just write something new, you'll still have to work with papers that you have in revise and resubmit conditions. So actually, let's look at my pipeline current pipeline coming up. There we go. And see. So for example, this paper here this is a new paper that I'm writing from scratch. Okay, so everything here, this here, are papers that I've already written and have either been rejected or forcibly in several cases in revise and resubmit. Right. So this is basically what your publications will look like. You'll have things that you're starting, but you'll have things that are in the process, round one, round two, round three, resubmission after rejection, and so on. So, when your publications look like this, what is your key challenge? Your key challenge is widening your pipeline. Widening your pipeline. What does widening your pipeline mean? It means making sure that you are increasing, as time goes by, increasing the number of papers that you are working on at the same time. And here, I'm not talking about doubling, of course, right? So for me, it was, moving from two to three papers at the same time. That's already pretty good. And again, I'm a qualitative researcher. I tend to mostly work on my own. So this may seem less impressive for people that co-author a lot, because obviously, if you're co-authoring, you're doing less work for each paper, so your pipeline increases. But the challenge is the same, whether it's moving from 4 to 6 if you co-author a lot, or moving from 2 to 3. The goal is still to move, to increase how many papers you can work at the same time. The idea is not to crank out crappy papers, or cranking out academic sausages. That's not the idea. The idea is to increase your capacity of engaging in serious and deep work within your current publication pattern. So if you co-author a lot, that means, adding a couple more papers a year. If you're co-authoring very little, like myself, that may just mean adding one paper per year, one paper every 2 years. I don't know, something like that. Okay. So, how do you do this? 3 ways. 1, specialize. So, for me, I specialize in data analysis. That is what I am good at. Okay? I'm really good at data analysis. How do I know I'm really good at data analysis? Because I have never, ever, ever gotten a negative review comment on the data analysis section of my papers. Ever. Actually, several comments in top papers were around how much they loved the results section. So I know I'm good at that. Okay. Why is it important to specialize in something that you are really good? Well, if you're working with other people, that means that you will do this more quickly than if you were working on some part of a paper where you're less comfortable. Imagine like the theory section. So you'll do it more quickly, and also because this is the part where you're good at, that means that this part of the paper at least will be solid, and that means that you'll get less rejections, more revise and resubmits, and quicker revise and resubmit cycles. If you're writing on your own, like myself, what this means is that I have less of the paper to review. So I know that the results, which for me are 1/3 of the paper in terms of text, right? And methods, that, these are basically not going to change throughout the review process. So basically, what I know is that, and past literally 15 years, I know that what is going to happen is that reviewers are going to ask me to change the theory, and because I will change the theory, I'll have to change the discussion. And sometimes these are major changes, okay? But I know that that is what they ask me, and that I don't have to care, that I have to go back to the data, reanalyze everything, and then work on the theory, okay? Obviously, sometimes you need to do some adjustments of how you're presenting and classifying the data, but it's minor, okay? So even if you're a single author, specializing saves you time, okay? You can work on more papers at the same time because there is a part of your paper, in my case, 1/3 of the paper, that I know I don't have to worry about, okay? So just that is one more paper every 3 years, right? If I not working on 1/3 of the paper, right? So that's one thing, right? Second thing, focus on training as a editor, as a writer of revisions. Okay, so most of the writing advice that I give you is about writing the first draft of the paper. Writing for revisions is different. It follows a different sequence. It follows a different process and has different challenges. So think about how you can improve your writing process for revisions. Very quickly, I'll do another video about this down the line, but very quickly for me is I write summaries of the review letters. I then make decisions on big decisions about what new theory I'm going to use, and how I'm going to organize the theory section and discussion to respond to that change. And I go back to my review notes and I see if I'm answering all of the review comments, and only then do I begin to write. Okay, so that's the second thing. learn, improve how to write a paper revision rather than writing the first draft of a paper. These are very different writing processes. Okay? Third, build skills around your weaknesses. So, my weakness is theory. I tend to be relatively ambitious theory wise, and normally reviewers will tell me be less ambitious theory wise. So, what I have worked on is I've worked on to have a very broad understanding of theory, different theories, different frameworks in the fields that I publish in, so that when reviewers ask me to change my theory, I can pick one quickly. Okay, now don't take a long time to pick theories. Now, this was something that I was very bad at the beginning, and actually one of the reasons my AMJPs got eventually rejected after 3 rounds of reverse and resubmit. So, if for you it's data, just try to, for example, have a very structured data analysis procedure like random theory. That's not what I do. I do a very, very unstructured data analysis, but just work on your weakness, not to resolve it. I'm not never going to have a theory accepted first round like I have the results accepted first round, but just to make sure that I can make quicker and more effective decisions around theory. Okay, so these are the 3 things that you can improve to deal with your key challenge as a mid-career academic. Key challenge as a mid-career academic: manage your pipeline, increase the number of revise and resubmits that you can be working on at the same time. If you write alone, 1. If you write together, 2, 3. How to do it? Specialize, like I always get my data right section right at the first time. Second, learn to write revisions. It's different to write a revision than writing the first draft of a paper. Third, develop some scaffolding, some improvements, some support in your weakness. For me, knowing a lot of different theories and frameworks so that I can pick one quickly when I'm asked to do so. Hope this was a useful video. Kept it under 15 minutes, and I'll see you guys. I'll try to do Thursday. I'm having this like super weird schedule where I'm in basically teaching and in interviews a lot. And I'm in Paris more than I am in Lille, which is where my apartment is and my office is. So I don't promise a second stream this week, but I'll try. Otherwise, I'll see you guys when I see you. And in the meantime, good luck on your writing projects. And if you have something cool that you just published or just finished drafting, do share it with me. I'm more, even if you don't need feedback, I'm always excited to read new research. Have fun, everybody. Bye.